All right, so get ready because we're going to do a deep dive into this really inspiring story about how a lemonade stand turned into a national phenomenon.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and it sparked just like this chain reaction of kindness.
I think
Uh,
it's a story that speaks to a lot of people because it reminds us that simple acts can have a huge impact. And,
yeah.
it's really a story for our times.
It is, and we've got like news articles, we've got firsthand accounts, and even some like social media chatter to kind of really piece together what went on with this journey.
Yeah, the material is really rich. And what I think is so fascinating about this story is, it's not just a feel-good story.
Right.
It actually offers some really valuable insights, I think, into community building and the psychology of giving. And,
Yeah.
that's what makes it a really, really interesting deep dive, I think.
Totally. And it all started, it's a typical summer day in Santa Clarita, California, and we've got the 7-year-old Emma who sets up a lemonade stand, but
But this is not your average lemonade stand.
no.
No.
It's got a sign above it, Lemonade for Hope.
Right.
And that's because Emma was on a mission.
Yeah, she was battling leukemia at the time, and she came up with this incredible idea to help her parents with all the medical bills, mounting medical bills.
Yeah.
And it's just remarkable how even while going through, chemotherapy and hospital stays,
Yeah.
she just had this incredible positive spirit.
Yeah. It's
That's so
crazy.
inspiring.
Like it's easy to feel powerless in the face of stuff like that, but Emma's mom has said that Emma came to her and she's like, what if I sold lemonade? People like lemonade. Maybe they'll buy it to help me.
Wow.
Like that's
That's amazing.
yeah, it's that kind of proactive spirit that just I think makes this story so special.
Yeah, it is. And it's that shift from feeling like a victim of circumstance to being an active agent of change. And I think so often we underestimate the power we all have, even as children, to make a difference.
Absolutely. So lemonade stand day arrives, and it starts off a little bit slow, but then their first customer arrives, and it's their kind elderly neighbor, Mrs. Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
And now you might think, okay, just another customer.
Right.
But Mrs. Henderson's gesture was anything but ordinary.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
She paid $10 for a $1 cup of lemonade.
Wow.
And, on the surface, it seems like a small act, but think about the impact on little Emma.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a powerful validation of her efforts,
Right.
like an early sign that her idea was actually going to work.
Totally. And it's like that first domino falling, right? Like
Yeah.
that initial act of generosity, it just created this ripple effect.
Exactly.
And word spread so quickly, and Emma's stand was just buzzing with customers,
Yeah.
classmates, and neighbors. Even the mailman stopped by.
Yeah, it's like the community sensed that something special was happening.
Yeah.
And, maybe that's what drew in this very unexpected visitor.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, like, how did Clint Eastwood end up at a lemonade stand in Santa Clarita?
Of all places.
Yeah, well, Clint was driving through the neighborhood, and he happened to see the stand.
And this is where the story, I think, takes kind of an unexpected turn and goes from, just a local story of community kindness to something much bigger.
Yeah.
Because Clint doesn't just buy lemonade.
Mhm.
He makes a $50,000 donation.
$50,000.
I know. That's insane.
I mean, it's just incredible, but it's not even about the money. It's about the message that he sent.
Yeah. What did he say?
Well, he said, it's not about the money. It's about showing this little warrior that she's not alone. She's already done the hard part. She just needed a little push.
It's so powerful.
It is.
And it wasn't just a financial contribution, right? It was an act of solidarity,
Mm-hmm.
a public acknowledgement of Emma's strength
Yeah.
and resilience.
And large donations like that often inspire other people to give because they
So-
create this sense of social proof,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, if you can give that much, then
Maybe I can give a little bit.
totally. And so the crowd, seeing this Hollywood legend supporting this little girl's lemonade stand, they went wild.
They did. It was amazing.
And they started digging deep into their pockets.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Alvarez, the mailman, who had already stopped by earlier, donated another $50.
Wow.
There was even a boy from Kansas who sent $2 after seeing the story online.
Wow.
I mean, it was this incredible outpouring of support.
Talk about a viral moment.
It was.
Media outlets across the country picked up the story, and Emma's lemonade stand became the face of this hard Lemonade for Hope movement.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how this small local event tapped into something much larger. You know,
Yeah.
it resonated with people, I think, because it highlighted our shared humanity, our
Yeah.
capacity for compassion and generosity,
Mm-hmm.
and it demonstrated how individual acts of kindness can have this cascading impact, inspiring others to join in and create a movement for positive change.
Totally. Okay, so we've seen how Emma's story just captured hearts, across the country. But it wasn't just like a feel-good story,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was about the actual impact that it had.
Yeah, and this is where I think we move from, individual acts of generosity to the creation of a lasting legacy.
Yeah.
Because Emma and her parents, they took all of those, those extra funds
Mm-hmm.
and they started the Lemonade for Hope Foundation.
Yeah. And you might be thinking, okay, a foundation, that sounds pretty complex for a family dealing with so much already.
Yeah, you'd think that they would just want to
Right.
focus on Emma's health and everything, but they didn't.
They didn't let that complexity stop them.
Not at all. And I think they really recognized the opportunity they had to turn their personal challenge into a way to help others.
Yeah.
And so the Lemonade for Hope Foundation was dedicated to helping other families facing those kinds of burdens,
Yeah.
facing those medical costs.
And their mission statement, like, it really hit me hard.
Oh, yeah.
It says, no child should have to choose between fighting for their life and worrying about how to pay for it.
Powerful stuff.
So powerful.
And, they really cleverly leveraged all of that media attention that they had received to build some sustainable fundraising streams.
Mm-hmm.
Because they understood that relying on one-time donations, that wasn't going to be enough.
Right.
They needed to create a movement.
It was a movement.
It really was.
Schools were organizing fundraisers.
Yeah.
Companies were making pledges. Families that were struggling with medical bills were receiving much-needed financial assistance.
Absolutely. And, I think what's often overlooked is the emotional support that a foundation like that provides.
Right.
They created a community, a network of people
Mm.
who really understood the unique challenges that these families were facing.
Mm.
And that sense of belonging and that shared experience, that can be incredibly valuable, especially in times of crisis.
Yeah, totally. And speaking of community,
Yeah.
we can't forget the support from Clint Eastwood.
Right. He didn't just disappear after that initial donation.
No.
No, he stayed connected with the family.
Yeah.
He sent Emma a framed photo of them at the lemonade stand with this really encouraging note.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
It was. And, that personal touch, I think, really speaks volumes about his genuine care for Emma and her journey.
Yeah.
It just shows that he wasn't just doing this for publicity. He was truly invested
Right.
in her well-being.
And now Emma has become this amazing spokesperson for the foundation.
It's amazing.
Imagine this little girl who started a lemonade stand to help her family is now inspiring people all over the country.
Yeah, it really does make you wonder, how often do we underestimate the potential of small acts to spark larger change?
Totally.
I mean, Emma's story is a testament to the power we each have to make a difference no matter our age or circumstance.
And remember that reporter who asked Emma what she learned through this whole experience?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
What she said really stuck with me.
Yeah, what was it?
She said, I learned that it doesn't matter how big or small you are, you can always do something to help. And when people help each other, amazing things can happen.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
It's so true. And it reminds us that even in the face of adversity, even when things feel completely overwhelming, there's always something we can do to contribute to a better world.
Okay, so we've talked about Emma's story and like how those little acts of kindness can make a big difference.
Yeah.
But I think like how do we actually make this happen?
Yeah, it's one thing to talk about it.
Right.
It's another to actually do it right.
Totally. And I think, it doesn't have to be these huge gestures or involve a ton of money.
Right.
It's really the small things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, just think about like your everyday encounters. You're at the grocery store and you see someone struggling to reach something
Oh, yeah.
on a high shelf,
Mm-hmm.
just offering to help.
Totally.
That takes 2 seconds, but it can really make someone's day.
Yeah, or even like just holding the door open for somebody or like giving a genuine compliment to a coworker.
Absolutely.
Sending a nice text to a friend who's having a hard time.
Yeah, these little things can actually have a big impact on people.
Totally. And speaking of impact, let's not forget about volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
There are so many like amazing organizations out there doing really important work.
Absolutely.
And they need volunteers to make that happen.
They do.
Volunteering is something I've always wanted to do more of.
Mm-hmm.
But, I get busy and I think it's easy to think like, oh, my little bit of time isn't going to make that much of a difference.
Right.
But when we all do it together, it really adds up.
It does. And, You don't need to commit to like a huge amount of time.
Right.
Even just an hour or two a week
Yeah.
can be so valuable to these organizations.
And I bet you get so much out of it too.
Oh, absolutely. Volunteering is a great way to meet people, learn new skills,
Yeah.
gain a sense of purpose.
Totally. And it's a great way to like get our families involved,
Absolutely.
show kids like the importance of giving back to your community.
Yeah. Lead by example.
Yeah.
That's one of the best ways to spread kindness.
And, we can't forget about like the online world either. Like social media has its downsides,
Of course.
but it can also be a really powerful tool for spreading kindness.
Yeah,
We can use our platforms to share inspiring stories,
absolutely.
promote causes we care about.
Yeah, and sometimes I think we underestimate the power of just like a share or a retweet.
Totally.
It takes 2 seconds, but it could expose someone to a new idea or introduce them to a new organization
Right.
or just like brighten their day with a message of hope.
Yeah, because let's be real, we could all use a little bit more positivity in our social media feeds.
Absolutely.
So I think, as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what little act of kindness will you commit to today?
Right. Are you going to compliment a stranger?
Hmm.
Volunteer at a local charity?
Yeah.
Share a story of inspiration online.
Yeah, the possibilities are endless.
They are.
And remember, like, no act is too small. It's like those dominoes falling one after another. Like, each act of kindness can create that chain reaction, inspiring others to pay it forward.
So let's all go out there and be the change we want to see in the world.
Love it.
Let's brighten someone's day, offer a helping hand, and spread a little bit of joy.
Because just like Emma's story taught us, when people help each other, amazing things can happen. And who knows, maybe your small act of kindness will be the spark that ignites a movement. So thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep those glasses full of lemonade and those hearts full of kindness.